Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Alfripi and Today FM rocks here in Tavua.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Usur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Sri Lanka death toll rises to 290. Families of Sri Lankans in Fiji safe. And MSAF warns boat operators.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
The death toll from the Easter Sunday explosions in Sri Lanka has risen to 290, with almost 500 people wounded. The police added the investigation into the bombings will examine reports that the intelligence community failed to detect or warn of possible suicide attacks before the violence. As Rachel Nath reports, viewer discretion is advised.
A series of coordinated bombings struck churches and hotels on Easter Sunday, the worst attacks in Sri Lanka since the end of civil war 10 years ago. The island nation was hit by a total of 8 explosions that were carried out by suicide bombers. Most of the victims were killed in 3 churches where Christians were attending Easter Sunday services. 3 other bombings struck luxury hotels located in the heart of the capital, Colombo, killing at least 35 foreigners. Police say 24 local suspects have been arrested, but investigators will look into whether the attacks had any overseas links. Sri Lanka's government was aware of information regarding a possible attack before a series of deadly bomb blasts. This afternoon, an improvised pipe bomb discovered close to Colombo's main airport was successfully defused, according to police. The homemade pipe bomb was discovered yesterday evening on a road leading towards the main terminal, which remains open with heavy security. Authorities also lifted a curfew that was in place overnight following the bombings. The streets in the capital were largely deserted this morning, with most shops closed with a heavy deployment of soldiers and police. Government officials also said major social networking and messaging apps, including Facebook and WhatsApp, were temporarily blocked to prevent misinformation and fake news. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Sri Lanka's Honorary Council in Fiji has confirmed to FBC News that no direct family members of Sri Lankans living in the country have been affected in the bombing. Ajit Kodagoda says he's met with a majority of them who reside here, and they've given assurances their families back home are safe. As of this afternoon, more casualties have been reported from the bombing that has shocked the island nation. Catherine Krishna has more.
The Sri Lankan community in Fiji are mourning the lives lost in the Easter Sunday bombing that targeted 3 churches and hotels, killing Christians and foreigners.
Even during the civil war, while there were casualties, there was 100 in one place, and on another day there would have been another 50 or 60. So we've never gone through this kind of tragedy even during the civil war.
Nawza Farid, who spent most of his childhood in the Sri Lankan capital of Colombo, says the news came as a shock, as he once used to attend mass at the 3 churches.
I've been keeping in touch with my friends and family. Hope nothing more happens and nothing goes wrong. Hopefully things comes under control. That is the only expectation.
Farid says this was a very cowardly act.
It is a very dark day for Sri Lanka. Something like this has never happened. And after all, people wonder why it's a place of worship. And among them is some of the people whom we know, we have seen from the childhood. So it is something very hard to digest. Something very sad. You feel like very sad talking about this.
Anil Seneviratne says he called his mother as soon as he heard about the bombing and was assured she was safe. However, saddened by the innocent lives lost.
So we are really, really worried about the people in Sri Lanka, and we wouldn't know at this point in time. Lots of our friends, whether they have also been victims of this, the blast that has taken place.
The Sri Lankan community has acknowledged the support and prayers from Fijians around the country during this time of sorrow. Plans are also in place to hold a vigil for those who have lost their lives in the deadly attack. Catherine Krishnaev, BC News.
2 students have died in separate incidents over the weekend. A 15-year-old boy who was swept away while swimming at Nasilai Beach in Cuba yesterday was found this morning. The student had gone swimming with his older brother when the incident occurred. A search and rescue team was deployed to the scene where attempts to find the student was unsuccessful. The victim's body was discovered by a man from Nakelo this morning and is being kept at the Wainimbokasi mortuary. Meanwhile, a 3-year-old lost his life yesterday after slipping in a drain in Lovoni village in Ovalau. The toddler is believed to have tried to jump over a drain, but was unlucky as he slipped and hit the drain. He was rushed to the Mbureta Health Centre where he was pronounced dead. Seafarers and boat operators around the country have been warned to adhere to maritime safety rules and regulations. Failure to do so may result in penalties ranging from $2,000 to $30,000, face a prison term or even both. This comes after warning from relevant authorities to refrain from going out to sea during unfavorable weather conditions continue to fall on deaf ears. Savara Tambua has more.
Search and rescue operations are still underway for 2 men who went fishing in a 15-horsepower fiberglass boat and failed to return on Saturday.
Seafarers are also taken to court on these accidents and incidents. The Maritime Safety Authority have current cases in court, and in this regard, which is drawing a lot of attention from the maritime stakeholders. Unfortunately, when cases go into court, then the maritime laws are taken seriously.
The police forces also jumped on board, calling on vessel and small boat operators to take heed of these warnings.
When season, the warnings from authorities are coming your way, to please take heed to them. Number 2, with 1 or 2 missing at sea, it is quite an expensive exercise, especially for government for search and rescue missions.
Mariners are advised to avoid such tragedy, as they are not only putting their lives in danger but lives of those deployed to conduct the search and rescue operations. Sabara Tambua, FBC News.
Still to come, Fijians enjoy last day of Easter holiday, and government delivers freezer as promised. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Hoya ubasitsai sa ilambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong Nambula FM nambandua ya nasere.
Buya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Wana tuma Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere nawaluan.
Na vengo fani na tao niongo singa toka. Kita ndo talita ka Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Bula FM, nambandua.
Unfavorable weather conditions affecting the country over the weekend has failed to dampen the spirits of many. FBC News took to the city today to see what Fijians were up to on the last day of the longest public holiday of the year. Savara Tambua reports many were out and about running errands, completing house chores, while others waited for rain to clear to spend some time at the park.
43-year-old Shalesh Pal from Lanka says this was the best Easter weekend because he got to spend quality time with his children, ending their holiday at the park.
It's an Easter moment. I had to take out a bit of time so they can enjoy their moment here on the beach.
6-year-old Moira and her grandmother attended church and stayed indoors over the past 3 days. However, they've decided to get some fresh air today.
I am going to play a little bit and eat.
Just decided to bring the children out for a few hours, indoors it's boring, it's the same old thing, and I thought, okay, let's do something exciting.
The De Villiers of Narere will end their holidays with a feast tonight, so the day was spent on preparations to make sure this was a memorable Easter weekend.
Since this weather is so cold and all, so we thought of having a duck because it's holiday too, to spend some time with family. Some families coming home.
However, it was a normal day at work for others, ensuring citizens abide by the law. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Questions of a culture of nepotism within the Fiji Bus Operators Association have surfaced following an investigation into its internal affairs. Concerns of ethical practices of the association were raised through its own members to the Independent Bus Fare Review Committee. Rachel Nath reports members are now calling on the association to step down from national representation until fairness prevails.
Members of the Fiji Bus Operators Association have chosen to remain anonymous when complaining about the nature in which the association conducts itself. Out of fear, they will be victimized.
Currently, there's a system of, it's not a one person or one operator, one vote, but it is if you are one operator and you have 50 buses, then you get 50 votes. And if you are an operator that has 3 buses, then you get only 3 votes.
Independent Bus Fare Review Committee Chair Joel Abraham says this practice will ensure the bigger operators are rooted into the association.
And they feel that the Bus Operators Association should not be engaging in public policy and public decision making on behalf of the bus industry unless and until there is equality and equity within the Bus Operators Association.
Ironically, the association is now changing its tune.
Totally wrong information. Fiji Bus Operators is for the operators. Some members are not part of Fiji Bus Operators. They may have commented. Secondly, Fiji Bus Operators only deal with national issues, not personal issues.
The committee says actions will be taken.
So we have highlighted this to the acting president yesterday, Mr. Nisar Ali, and he has agreed that for a review of the governance structure for Fiji Bus Operators Association.
No, it's all the association is governed and managed by the Constitution. So the Constitution was designed and been there for last so many years. So many presidents has been appointed or elected in the process. So how come it's now nepotism? How can we do a nepotism on that?
Abraham says it will only be fair that an assessment is made to determine whether these claims are valid, with these contradicting views between the association heads and its members. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
The struggle to store their fish and other marine commodities will now end for villagers on Thikumbia Island. This week, government made good on its promise to provide them with a solar-powered freezer. Eleanor Rangaiview reports.
In his last visit to Thikumbia Island about 9 months ago, Minister for Fisheries Semi Corella Bissau promised the fishermen they will get a freezer to safely store their fish.
So it's an initiative on sustainability. Our whole effort is towards able to store and keep the resources without being damaged.
Like all maritime communities, Thikumbia depend on the sea for survival. But the storage of the marine commodities has always been an issue.
It's always a challenge taking our fish to the market in Lambasa because of the distance travel. Sometimes, by the time we get to Lambasa, the fish has gone bad.
Having the freezer will also mean that villagers won't have to fish as often as they used to, as they can now store leftover fish for consumption for the next few days.
On Palm Sunday, the men here caught 10 bumperhead parrotfish. We only managed to eat 2 or 3, as the rest was thrown away. If we had had the freezer by then, we would have stored it for later.
Thikumbia consists of 4 villages with a little over 100 villagers currently living on the island.
This is a place for fish, so we are thankful that this morning our freezer has arrived. It will enable us to take our catch across to the market so that we can earn an income for our families.
Thikumbia is one of 2 northern maritime communities to receive the solar freezers this year. Eleanor Rangaiview, FBC News.
Ensuring justice delivered to all Fijians was a mammoth task for former Chief Justice Anthony Gates. This is how he described his 11 years of service as Fiji's highest-ranking judicial officer. Speaking to FBC News, the former CJ shares his experience on the path he took to ensure all Fijians have access to justice. Agusita Tale reports.
Transparency is the key. As one might ask of how a man like the caliber of Anthony Gates withstood major political events in the country and chose to remain loyal to our judicial system.
You cannot afford ties with people who have strong political views.
Justice Gates was born in the United Kingdom and is a graduate of Cambridge University. However, his judicial work in Fiji began in 1977 after being appointed as the Director of Public Prosecutions. He says he has no regret in delivering justice to the people of Fiji.
Although I fondly look back at times like the Missouri Magistrates Court in the mid-1980s, going to Vunidau Magistrates Court, Thai Level Magistrates Court, because that's where you see what is happening in people's lives.
Being described by many as a man of his words, Gates says his judicial work in Fiji is where he learnt a lot of things about life.
And some cases have funny aspects to them, but they have lots of humanity as well. And you learn a great deal about what are the concerns of people and their difficulties that they have to face when you see their problems coming to court. So that's always been stimulating.
The former Chief Justice retired earlier this month, and in his place is Justice Kamal Kumar, now serving as the acting Chief Justice until such time when a substantive appointment is made. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Up ahead in sports, silver sailors pip Savo to win overall medals. And Krishna steers Wellington Phoenix to another win. Details after the break.
Lola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Mariva. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Tavua College gold medalist Yeshnil Karan has not only made his family and friends proud, but the small town as well. The 18-year-old long-distance runner shocked the nation after winning 2 gold medals on the first 2 days of the Coca-Cola Games last week. Felipe Naikaso reports a huge celebration was held at Yalandro last night to celebrate his achievement.
Gravel Road and sugarcane farms were the only training ground 18-year-old Yashnil Karan had leading up to the Coke Games, and this was what he only needed to beat National Rap and Pacific Games gold medalist Petero Veitangomaki in the 1,500 meters and 3,000 meters to make his family proud.
I was confident that my son would win his races. He trained very hard and was very dedicated. He has made us all proud, and watching him on TV run will be unforgettable.
Family, relatives, friends, and those around Ilandro have been celebrating here at Yasnil's home ever since his spectacular performance during the Games. They still cannot believe that their son was one of those that stood out during the 3-day competition.
We were just proud seeing him take part. During his event, we were just all cheering and shouting for him as if we were at the stadium. It was just a proud moment for our family.
A few days after his stellar performance, Yasnil was just happy to spend quality family time.
It's like many contacts and everything coming to me right now. So I have to make wise decisions of myself, so go in which field.
This is how proud Yashnil Karan's family is, as for Yashnil is the first in his family to take part at the Coca-Cola Games and win medals. For the family since Friday, they have been celebrating the 18-year-old's achievements during the 3 days at the Coke Games 2019. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
The silver sailing team finished first in the sailing competition at the Fiji Games at the National Sailing Centre in Lathala Bay. Silver bagged 3 gold, 1 silver and a bronze. Savo won 2 gold, 5 silver and 3 bronze, while Kandavu settled in 3rd place with 1 gold and Lautoka follows with a bronze.
We had 3 Hobie Cat sailing and there was 6 lasers, male and female, and I think there was about 12 Optimists. So Optimist is not a Pacific Games class, it's just a Fiji Games class.
Silver managed to finish at the top of the medal tally as badminton rounded up their competitions during the Fiji Games at the Edsen Hall today. It was a close finish as Suva won 2 gold, 3 silver and 2 bronze medals, edging Rotuma, who won 2 gold and 1 bronze. Finishing in 3rd place was Lami with 1 gold, while Nasinu and Lautoka tied at 4th place with 1 silver and 1 bronze medal respectively. National coach Brent Munday says overseas exposure really helped players perform well at the Fiji Games.
We took a team away to the Oceania Championships that was in Melbourne, that was in February, and our team had some really good results there against other Pacific nations like Tahiti and New Caledonia. So we've sort of been able to have a bit of a look at them and weigh up our best option to try and turn the table and get a win over them in Samoa.
Canada defeated England 7-5 to win the Kitakyushu Sevens title last night in the lowest scoring final in the World Rugby Women's Sevens Series history. The Sevens was the 4th round of the 6-leg series, which doubles as a qualifier for the 2020 Olympics. The victory lifted Canada to 2nd place in the World Series standings, 6 points behind New Zealand, which won the first 3 legs this season. The United States is 3rd, 2 points behind Canada. Meanwhile, the Fiji Airways Fijiana Sevens side finished 9th in Japan after defeating Spain in the Challenge Trophy final 41-12. Fijian star striker Roy Krishna completed a hat-trick to hand Wellington Phoenix a 3-2 win over Melbourne City and keep alive their hopes of hosting an A-League home final. Krishna's first hat-trick of the season lifts him to 18 goals, 2 ahead of Sydney FC's Adam Lafondre on top the Golden Boot race. Manchester United's hopes of Champions League football next season suffered another huge blow as Everton romped them for a 4-0 win this morning. A 6th defeat in 8 games in all competitions for Man United means they remain 2 points adrift of the top 4 in 6th. Arsenal suffered a big blow in their top 4 aspirations as they were beaten at home 3-2 by Crystal Palace. The Gunners looked tired after their midweek victory in the Europa League against Napoli, and it was Palace who took a first-half lead. Meanwhile, Liverpool returned to the top of the Premier League but were made to work hard for a 2-0 victory at relegation-threatened Cardiff City. Cloud and rain was experienced over most parts of the country today. Taking a look in the west, it was a rainy and windy day. Eastwards from Pack Harbour to Suva, it was fine in the morning, but dark clouds gathered after midday, bringing rain. And up north, it was similar cool and wet conditions affecting the group. At sea, easterly winds 20 to 30 knots, rough to very rough seas, poor visibility in areas of heavy rain and thunderstorms. For the tides, low tide at 12:09 a.m., high tide at 6:21 p.m., sunrise at 6:17. For tomorrow, rain likely to clear up. And tomorrow's temperatures mostly ranging in the low 30-degree range, and our further outlook, we're looking further on to Wednesday. Cool conditions are expected. Recapping the main stories for tonight, Sri Lanka death toll rises to 290. Families of Sri Lankans in Fiji safe. And MSAF warns boat operators. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, last week we had asked, should secondary school athletes be given more support? 52% said yes. This week we're asking, should small boat operators be penalised on the spot for not adhering to weather warnings? Visit our FBC website to answer. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.